everybody. And does that mean everybody?
Yeah.
Does that mean people who do not look like us? Does it mean people who talk differently than we do?
Yes. Yeah.
Does it mean people who have families that do not look like ours?
Yeah.
Yes. Jesus Christ taught that we are to love everyone. And one of the most important gospel principles, if we follow Jesus Christ and do what he asks us to do, is to love everyone. Especially maybe those people who don't look like us or talk like us or act like us and who are different. So I want you to get your monsters back out. Because these monsters, they look different. They're kind of weird, but I want you to look at these monsters. Can you tell me something you like about your monster? I'll tell you what I like about my monster. He's got spiky hair just like mine. I like that about my monster. What do you like about your monster, Miles?
He's a cyborg.
He's a cyborg. That makes that an awesome monster. What do you like about your monster?
The teeth.
You like his teeth. It's good to have good teeth. What do you like about your monster? Is he roly-poly? He's big roly-poly. That makes him an awesome. Eden, what do you like about your monster?
Looks like a cat and a cat's making the dream.
Okay, that's a good reason. What do you like about your monster? Then he has a silly belly button. So friends, when you guys look at things that you think you don't like, you can always find something to like. And brothers and sisters, you can always be kind. I want to close today by telling you about sharing with you a picture. So put your guys back down. Put your pictures back down on your seats. You see this picture? Yeah? Who is he? I don't know. I'm going to tell you about who he is. Okay. Okay, guys, look at this. See this picture? I just want to show you. I'm going to share with you this picture. This is a picture of my grandpa. And I called him Pappy. He is my daddy's daddy. So he was my pappy. He was my father's father, and he lived and his whole life on an orchard chicken farm in Oregon. Now, there's something kind of tricky about one of these pictures. I need somebody to come look really closely for me. Sitting down? Sitting down. Could you come and help me? I need your really super good looker eyes, because it's kind of hard to see. It's pretty crazy. All right. Can you see that my grandpa has something in his hand right there? It's a little white stick. What would he have in his hand there? Can you guys see what that is? A tiny little white stick that he's holding in his hand.
Yeah.
What is that?
I know. A cigarette.
It's a cigarette. Can you guys sit down? A cigarette is something that Mormons don't smoke because we follow the word of wisdom. And my grandpa was not a Mormon. And he smoked a cigarette his entire life. In fact, I never remember seeing him without a cigarette. Even when he was dying of lung cancer and was hooked up to an oxygen machine, he would take off the oxygen so that he could light up a cigarette and smoke. Because he figured at that point it was killing him anyway, so he might as well go out and get pleasure. Now, a lot of times you might walk by somebody and go, they're smoking a cigarette. That is no good. But I also want to tell you some other things about my grandpa, who smoked cigarettes until it killed him. My grandpa built the house that he lived in with his own hands. My grandpa was an incredible father who loved his children and taught them to worship Jesus Christ. My grandfather prayed before every single meal with his family. They would all hold hands and they would pray to Heavenly Father to bless the food. Every night before he went to bed, my grandfather would stop and play the piano. He never learned how to play, but he could play some things off the radio, and he would play the piano so that his kids could listen to music before they fell asleep. My grandfather was a hard worker. He picked cherries out of trees and took care of chickens every day for his whole life. And my grandfather was an active member of his church. He raised money and spent a lot of his own money to build a church, and he was a deacon in his own church. So this is a picture of him at his church. Now, if I were to just look at him and go, that's a man who smokes cigarettes, that's not a good man, I would have missed the opportunity to know one of the best men I know, who was kind and loving and raised my father so that when my father had missionaries knock on his door, he knew the Lord and he knew the gospel. And that his father, despite the fact that he never joined the church, for his whole life, he loved that my father had. And he came to church with us and he supported it and he loved him. Jesus has taught us to be kind to others, brothers and sisters. especially those that may look different, that may act different, and may do different things. So I hope we can all be those kind of kind people, because that's the kind of kind person that Jesus Christ was. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.